Hello students, now we're going to start our governance. So in January month we have already done indexes and reports, and we have done places in news. Now we're going to start our governance session, right? Okay, so the first one, this particular session will be covering the first leg of our governance. We have 7 to 8 verticals within the governance only. So initiatives and programs, starting with Paramarsh scheme. So Paramarsh scheme is by the UGC under the Ministry of Human Resource and Development. The idea of the Paramarsh means hota hai, Paramarsh is a Hindi word that means suggestion, or Paramarsh means a discussion type of thing. So Paramarsh basically wants to establish an hub and spoke model. So there will be one hub that will be a mentor institute, and there will be spokes in terms of the mentee institutes. Okay, so these mentor institute will have the NAC and AAC. We'll discuss NAC, that is National Accreditation and Assessment Council, some sort of accreditation. So this mentor institute will already have, and these institutes will be aspiring institutes. They want to have this accreditation. Okay, so this mentor institute will help these other institutes out how to do it in terms of the infrastructure or in terms of the academic excellence and these things. Okay, so the idea, this is the UGC scheme, University Grant Commission. Okay, so this is the UGC scheme for mentoring the NAC accreditation aspiring institutes to promote quality assurance in the higher education. I talked about hub and spoke model that is given in the institute itself, right? So it will call about operational efficiency, resource utilization to increase the overall development of the mentee institutes. Okay, so this is one thing. So what is NAC? So NAC is basically from 1994 this started. UGC started to for the National Assessment and Accreditation Council. So it is very easy, just like giving up a kind of a recognition to the quality of an institute, right? So just remember like that. It's assesses and accredits the higher education institute, just like credit rating agency. It's something like that. Okay, so it reviews the institutes on basis of its performance, evaluation, assessments, like that. So ranking of the institute is done like that. Okay, now we have other frameworks such as NIRF, and all these frameworks are already there by the MHRD, right? Next is Vajra faculty scheme. So first of all, remember this faculty scheme is not from MHRD but from Ministry of Science and Technology. Okay, so this is, first of all, this faculty scheme is from this particular ministry. So what the scheme is, it enables NRIs and overseas scientific community to come in India and participate in Indian research and development. The idea is very easy. You are doing research and development outside, come to India and contribute to us. So we will be taking up within the Science and Technology Ministry, SERB, Science and Engineering Research Board, right? It is a statutory body under the Science and Tech Ministry, will be implementing this particular scheme. So they will be, they have to come to India for which time period, from 1 month minimum to 3 year maximum, 3 month maximum, a year. Within 1 year they have to spend this much time. Okay, so the idea is to improve the R&D ecosystem in India. This scheme is open to all PIO, OCI, NRIs, R&D professional. Okay, remember, if the question being asked, the question will be focused on the which department. First option or second option will be that under which ministry this particular scheme is there, because UPSC in the past 3 years, 2 years, I think, have not asked any specific question. They have avoided question being asked on the schemes. So any year it can make a big return into our examination. Then is Arthashastri campaign. So Arthashastri campaign, Arthashastri mean an economist. So the idea is to, Arthashastri means economist, as I told you. So idea is to provide people a layman understanding to the very specific economic terms, right? So that people should understand what is going on. So they should understand what is appropriation bill, what is budget bill, what is capital part, what is expenditure part, like this, what is revenue part, sorry, what is expenditure, what is revenue, and all these things. So the social media campaign on these budgetary terms by the finance ministry. Okay, so I have seen one of the video also. There was a video on YouTube, so please go and see. Very interesting videos there. Okay, next is drone census. So from the name itself, drone census, so doing the census of whatever the drones are present, especially in the civil capacity, because obviously the military capacity government has the data, but civil capacity, last year government has allowed the civilian drones also. So the drone census is being carried out so that those also can be captured. Government should know in which place drones are there, how many people are having it, like that. So they'll be issuing some unique identification number, and the unmanned aircraft operator permit, they must be there before you go for the drone. Now if you see in the COVID-19 also, many of the drones are used for monitoring. Many of the videos are coming where the drones are used for different monitoring in different places. In fact, announcement by the police are also done by the drones, right? So drones is done by this census is done by the Ministry of Civil Aviation. In fact, we have done one of the conference on the drones also previously in October or November month, right? Mr. Hardeep Puri is the Minister of the Ministry of Civil Aviation. Next is Swayam Prabha. So Swayam Prabha is the channels, 32 channels, direct to home channels, in which the educational content is given to the people, educational e-content. Now in the COVID-19, Tata Sky and Airtel has also decided to air the HRD's educational channel for free. Now these channel, what important from Prince perspective can come? For example, Swayam portal has already been asked. So Swayam Prabha, what question can be asked? Which are the areas? I think it will be a very tough question. So remember, higher education is there. Then school education from 9 to 12th. Not 1 to 9 or 5 to 9 is not there. So remember that. Okay. So 9 to 12th is there. Then from 11 to 12th for the competitive exam, they also provide some specific instructions. So many, if you go, so many of the channels, they have decided under which authority this particular channel is there. Okay, this much information is enough for us. So just remember, when we can miss out, it is from 9 to 12th, not 5 to 9 or 1 to 9. Next is a skill development program for the tourist in tourism industry. So this is Incredible India Tourist Facilitation Program, right, under Ministry of Tourism. This certifications program is an online learning management system, right? It will create like a course, small diploma type thing, okay, so that you can become a tourist facilitator, right? So the applicant must be 10+2 in any exam, age 18+, you can see. So it will provide a more skilled tourism or more informed tourism, skilled people for the informed tourism, right? Okay, next is Impress scheme. So Impress scheme, the question can be asked itself, the Impress scheme is for. So Impress scheme is under the MHRD, Ministry of Human Resource Development. The idea is to promote the social science research project, because majority of our research focus predominates on the science and artificial intelligence and all these things. But however, this scheme focuses on the research on the social science research project as well. It is promoted by the Indian Council of Social Science Research, right? Okay, so impactful research in the social science, the researches which are relevant to the society from the social sphere. So the idea is to fund around award around 1500 projects for 2 years to support the social sciences. Next is Atal Jai Anusandhan Biotech Mission. So it was taken last year, February 19. It was in the news, but it was taken last year at the time, at the foundational, on the day of foundation of the DBT. So DBT has announced to do this particular mission. So this mission is also known as Unnati, that is undertaking nationally relevant technology innovation, right? So focusing on which sector? Health, agriculture, and energy sector during the next 5 years. Okay, under which ministry? Ministry of Science and Tech. So the mission includes some of the initiatives. So I don't think these sub-initiatives will be asked. Question, if they ask, they will be focused on this, but still. So first is Garbhini, that is focused on the preterm birth and health sector to reduce the MMR and infant mortality rate, right? Next is NSEPI, so for affordable vaccines for the endemic diseases. Then biofortified and protein-rich wheat for Poshan Abhiyan. Mission on antimicrobial resistance, we have discussed antimicrobial resistance. So for that also, red line campaign and all we have already discussed, because antimicrobial resistance is going to be a big problem. Superbugs, right? What are superbugs? Superbugs are the bacteria which have become antibiotic resistant, which cannot be killed by the highest end of or the last resort antibiotics. then clean energy missions for this. So what you need to remember, don't remember the submissions, remember the main mission under which ministry. Okay, this much will be enough. Next is Northeast Agri Horticulture and Economic Development Project. So this project is basically, it was in the news because in the Lok Sabha some answers were given for it. So it is under which program? National Rural Northeast Rural Livelihood Project. So we have covered already this livelihood project. It's a World Bank aided project by the Ministry of Donor the Development of Northeast region, under which of the states are there? Sikkim, Tripura, Mizoram and Nagaland. So these 4 states we are working on, right? So we have already covered it. So approach we have already discussed community based approach, SHG, top bottom top, facilitation, youth producer organization, all these things. Okay, next is National Aquifer Mapping and Management Project. So this project is now under which ministry? Ministry of Jal Shakti, Department of Water Resource. So it was under Ministry of Water Resource. Now the ministry has been converted to the Ministry of Jal Shakti. So what it does basically, it creates the hydrological map of India, right? So identifying and mapping the aquifers at the micro level and quantifying the available groundwater resource. So if you remember, Comprehensive Water Management Index of Niti Aayog has said that the position of the groundwater is very, like, a lot of issues are there. 21 cities will run out of the water by 2020 itself, right? 100 million people will face the water scarcity by 2022. So this is one of the projects which mapping can be done. In fact, one of the problem in the groundwater management is that we don't have the very good quality of data. So remember, it is under the Ministry of Jal Shakti, Department of Water Resource, River Development and Ganga Rejuvenation. This particular scheme itself, National Aquifer Mapping and Management Program, is under this scheme, overall scheme of Groundwater Management and Regulation Scheme. This is a central sector scheme under this particular department under the Ministry of Jal Shakti. Okay, right. Next is Mission 41K. So 41K, it was 2 to 3 years back, it was in the news. They have announced it in the budget. So idea is to save the 41,000 crore from the electricity expenses of the railways. Okay, by, for example, what they will do, they will purchase the electricity, the railways will purchase the electricity directly from the energy producers itself. This is called open access instead of the distributors. So directly if they take electricity, they will get the electricity at the subsidized price. So they have done that in the Punjab, and that is why it was in the news. Next is service scheme. So again, not very important scheme. This scheme is by the Steel Authority of India. So SAIL scheme, from the name it's a service scheme. So the idea is to SAIL employee will do the community engagement and volunteerism. SAIL employee. So Mr. Of Petroleum and Natural Gas has launched this scheme, and that is why it was in the news. Okay. On the foundation day of the PSU, some sort of volunteerism and community engagement will be there, right? So for that, they will also make an interactive sales service portal for foster interaction among the various stakeholders. Next is Elecrama. So Elecrama is a platform, basically our Expo Mart, right? Expo, where the people meet from different stakeholders in the electricity, right? They'll talk about technology, new trends, innovation and all this. So it's just a platform where the global leaders come and interact with respect to the electricity. So it happened in January in the Greater Noida NCR in India, right? So which ministries are involved? Obviously ministries related to the energy sector. So new and renewable energy, Ministry of Power, Ministry of Heavy Industries, MSME industry, and these ministries. Okay, quickly we'll move. Next is Saksham. So every year this happen. I think every year this is in current affairs. So this must be pasted in the static also. So why every month they make a one month long people centric conservation mega campaign for the conservation program, right? But for the petrol. So which is the institution responsible for that? PCRA, that is Petroleum Conservation Research Association. Under which ministry? Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, right? So the idea is for the conservation of what? The fuel conservation at every level, at the household level, at the transportation level. So engagement, community engagement, these things are there. Every year they do it, right? So the idea is to make citizens aware about the conservation and effective utilization of the petrol product for better health and environment. So PCRA is a society under Ministry of Petrol and Natural Gas, right? Next is Farmer Club program. So Farmer Club program, it is not a new program, it is a very old program. Again, why it is was in the news? Acha, in the December and January you will find, or February you will find many of the old scheme. Why? Because year end review comes of all ministries. So there many of the things, because it is published in PIB, so any of the ministry can come. And anyway, old schemes are also important because they remain in news. Some development is there or somebody asks question in the parliament, so it again becomes in news, right? So Farmer Club program, earlier known as the Vikas Volunteer Vahini, it's a NABARD initiative. So NABARD we have already covered, it is an AIFI, All India Financial Institution, right? So 2005 it was revisited. What is Farmer Club? So it is, you can imagine it similar to SHG, self-help group, a more institutionalized form. So it is, for example, how it is beneficial for banks as well, line departments. Why? Because these clubs will provide a convergent for, this is the farmers, so the farmers can come here, so it will provide a one-stop shop for the banks and the ministries to interact the farmers there instead of going to each and every farmer. So this is a more convenient way for interaction. Also, this platform can be crucial for technology transfer, awareness and capacity building of the farmers, right? So this is similar to SHG, the same work SHG does, same work is of the this particular Farmer Club. Next is K-12 Education Transformation Framework, very important for prelims. So what is this K-12 Educational Transformation Framework? This framework is not by government, by the Microsoft. So this is the framework of Microsoft in which they want to improve the digital transformation of the school. They want to make sure that the digital literacy is given along with the normal literacy programs. So they have taken 4 pillars of this particular program. So what is this? The 4 pillars are leadership and policy, modern teaching and training, technology blueprint and intelligent environments. You can see every component of it, not important, but remember, so Microsoft is doing it in many countries, around 50 plus countries they are already doing it, right? So what they do basically, they take very ground level research. So what are the things are needed? It's not a top bottom strategy, first of all, right? So they will impose one size fits all model. This is not that. In fact, it is a reverse model. So they will take a lot of input and based upon that they will devise a strategy for the digital transformation of the school. Next is Khadi gets the separate HS code. So what is HS code important, right? So HS code is basically a harmonized system. It is like a, for example, Agmark kind of a thing. So that the Khadi can be recognized, okay, this is a Khadi product, right? It can be used by the custom officers to clear commodities entering and crossing the international border. So a particular brand can be built. Okay, so the code aids the countries in collection of the international trade statistics and form basis of the custom tariff, so that the popularity of the khadi can be increased. So government also will get the data, okay, this much khadi is going to this country or something like that, where it is more popular, where the deficit is there, where we can work upon. So the idea is to give khadi a major boost. In fact, in the PIB it is written that the KVIC chairman is that it was impossible to imagine that this will happen, but the leadership of the finance minister and the commerce minister led to it. Okay, so this particular harmonized system is built by the World Custom Organization, WCO. Okay, so one thing about khadi, so if the question on khadi comes, so remember khadi does not only contain the raw material as the cotton. I just want to highlight that. So if the easy question comes, so remember khadi simply means cotton, usually hand spun. So khadi is a Indian hand spun and hand woven cloth. The raw material may be cotton, silk or wool. So please remember that. Okay, so the raw material can be these things, right? And Mahatma Gandhi used this as a political tool, everybody knows that, in the Swadeshi movement, and overall as a symbol of self-reliance. So this is the HS code. So it will be a 6-number digital code, something like that. Okay, developed by WCO, sorry. Right. So I think with this we finish our session. So let us quickly revise what we have already done. We started with the Paramarsh scheme. So Paramarsh scheme will establish a hub and spoke model. Then we talked about NAC. Then we Vajra facility under Ministry of Science and Tech, where the NRIs and OCO will come and contribute to the research in India. Then Arthashastri campaign by the Finance Ministry. So let people understand. Understand the financial budget exercise in a very simple way. Then the drone census by Ministry of Civil Aviation. Then Swayam Prabha initiative, DTH, 32 channels, 9 to 12. Remember that. Then skill facilitation for the informed tourism. Right. Next is Impress scheme for the research in the social sector. And finally, Atal Anusandhan Biotech Mission by the Ministry of Science and Tech and Department of Biotech. Under it, many submissions are there. What are the sectors? They are focusing on health, agriculture, and energy. Then National Northeast Agri Horticulture Economic Development Project under the Northeast Rural Livelihood Project. Then National Aquifer and Management Program, Mission 41K under Ministry of Railways, saving the 41,000 from the electricity. Then service scheme by the SAIL, so spirit of volunteerism and community engagement. Then Elekrama, a portal, export basically, Expo Mart, people will come and share the ideas. Then Saksham, so this is every year it happens for the fuel conservation, people making awareness these things. Then Farmer Club, I told you, similar to SHG program. Then K12, important one for prelims. These two are important for prelims, right? So Microsoft based on the 4 pillars. Then Khadi gets a new separate HS code. So with this we finish our first session, and governance first session is over. In the second session we'll talk about some apps and portals, and we'll talk about some institutions, and then in the third session we'll talk about flagship schemes and state government initiatives. Okay, so also along with the governance, please also collaborate this data with the ministry I'm making. MOFCC and Ministry of Minority Affairs are already on the web, on YouTube. So please make notes from that also, so that you get a comprehensive idea. The prelims has been extended, obviously deferred, the rates have been deferred. So make most of the make most use of the value added content that I'm providing, that we are providing as an institute, right? So see you again in the next class in the governance 2 session of January. Bye bye for now.